thought today was a really, really great battle. You know, two great teams, a lot of back and forth. I mean, overall, you know, I'm proud of the effort our team put forth today. Some things we got to clean up on, no question. But we'll learn from that and we'll improve and we'll get better. So ultimately, you know, it's tough to come out in your first game with a loss. We've certainly been here before. And I think we're really focused on, you know, just how we respond to setbacks and challenges. So that'll be really crucial, you know, how we move forward from here. So I'm very encouraged with a lot of things that we had out in the field, particularly our defensive stance and some of the ways we battled all over the field.
So Penn State's offense had a lot of success in the first half. What about them is so hard to defend?
Well, I mean, they're very athletic and shifty, so it really requires a lot of emphasis on playing just good one-on-one defense and, you know, having team ready to help and slide to deny a lot of drives. You know, they love to drive, but they're also a threat off ball, feeding and, you know, cutting. So, you know, they really tested our defense and our new system this year, but, you know, again, I think our D did a great job of really locking down and digging in and playing collectively together as a unit. So, you know, that helped us be able to hold, you know, a very prolific offense, in my opinion.
So Pierre scored 2 goals in her collegiate debut. What impression you most about her performance?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Pierre scored 2 goals in her collegiate debut. What impressed you?
I think just what we've known all along about Blair Pierre is that she's a competitor. She's not someone who gets intimidated. She's a fighter and a competitor, and she displays that whether it's practice, whether it's games, whoever the opponent is, it doesn't really matter. So that's one of the reasons why Blair is out in the field as a freshman, as a midi. Not an easy thing to do. She's a fighter, and yeah, she just brings her game. So. You know, that ability that she brings mentally, coupled with her, just the way that she pushes to get to the cage, she's aggressive and, you know, makes things happen, is why she was able to put some points on the board.
Shelby, so you scored 3 goals in the first half. What do you think the biggest factor was in your start?
I think it was kind of the momentum of the team at the time. You know, like we were all up, we were getting the draw, defense was coming up with some big saves, and my teammates were setting me up to be able to score and finish on the goalie, which was I couldn't do it without the other girls on the field.
So in the second half, you weren't as much of a factor. What do you think changed between the halves?
I definitely think they made an adjustment, Penn State for sure. And just kind of the flow of the game went differently. We were kind of, I would say, frantic. We turned the ball over a little bit more and definitely had more defensive sets. So I think that's something we can clean up is, you know, playing a full game. And yeah, I think definitely the way they changed their defense, we could have adjusted a little bit better as a whole.
Coach, so the second half was a lot low scoring compared to the first. What do you think was the biggest factor in the decrease in the number of goals?
I think, you know, I could sense both teams getting a little tight, you know, because there was a lot of back and forth. There was some mistakes being made. And I think both teams were super hungry for a win today. So it was, you know, a great battle, as I said in the beginning. You know, and I think just unfortunately for us, you know, we're up against a really solid goalie. I think Penn State's goalie had just had an outstanding game. We knew that coming in, that she was going to be a goalie. We're going to have to work hard to put the ball past her. And in moments, we just kind of failed to do that. So, you know, we've just got to be strong to, as Shelby said, like be able to put a full 60 minutes on the field to keep our composure. No matter what sort of is happening in the game, whether we're getting up and down the field, we've got to stay composed and not get tight and a little frantic at times. Just stay the course and trust.
And how do you bounce back against St. Joseph next week?
We'll watch the film. We'll, you know, make sure that we're identifying kind of some of the key areas that we've just got to do a little better job of. And I think obviously outright is just cleaning things up a little bit. And I think it's not uncommon to come out in the first game of the year and, you know, kind of get a good sense of at least we understand now exactly where we sort of sit, and that game's out, we can move forward and build on that for this coming game next weekend. So a bit of film, we'll get back to work on Monday, and we'll be re-energized to respond in a really, really positive way.
Can you talk about Carly, her collegiate debut as a rookie in the net? She played the entire game, came up with 6 saves, just her grit through today's game.
Yeah, I think it's, that's not an easy job to come out as a freshman in the goals. I think overall, Carly's, she's having to learn quick. I think, she's doing some things really well. She had to face some pressure outside of the crease today in clearing, as well as, seeing shots coming from various areas of the field. So, this is going to be a great learning experience for her, and, that experience is going to benefit her, already talking to her after the game. She's already just identifying, where she can do better, and, understanding, like, she's got to just let the nerves go and kind of settle into her game a little faster than she maybe did today. I thought it was great that she's seeing that for herself, and, I think she's got a bright future ahead of her. She's got a great defense in front of her, and I know that inspires confidence in her moving forward. So, a lot of good things to come from Carly, I think.
And Shelby, just as, an upperclassman on this team, a lot of people contributed today. What can you say about the underclassmen, the sophomores, and the freshmen who have really, put the game on their back this afternoon?
I think this season a lot of us have been talking as a group, and we are very confident with whoever is on the field. And it doesn't matter. I think that's a big thing we're emphasizing as a culture, is it doesn't matter what age you are. And I think that's something we've really, really emphasized, and it's something that is going to make us work together. It is something that we have a lot of potential, and at the end of the day, every single one of us on the team wants a championship, and today was just one step closer. And yes, it wasn't a setback, it's just something we get to learn from and come out hard next week and get back to work next Monday. So it's really encouraging, and it's encouraging to come off like a season. I know everybody talks about it all the time, but we it's not that we know how to lose, but we are ready to come back from what happened last season and keep working. And I think that's something that's different, is, we would kind of just like sulk on these losses. And the first thing we all said today is, let's get back to work on Monday. We're ready to go. We're ready to fix our mistakes. So I think the culture is just wonderful this year.